Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lucia and this is Lulu's Leaves.
I'm no good at being good, but I never said I was. And I feel misunderstood cause I'm trying hard to love.
In today's video, I am going to be going through all of the plants that I have to water, and there are a lot of them. It's Easter weekend and my boyfriend and I want to go visit our families. It's been a little while, so we want to go say hi. But what that means is that a lot of my plants will be alone and they all need a little bit of water. So I think it's time that I make sure everything is okay before I go so that nothing dies while I'm gone. If that does sound like something that you are interested in, definitely continue watching this video all the way through to the end. And also, if you want to help me out even more, leave a comment down below. Even an emoji helps out, and thumbs this video up, subscribe, all of that really helps. Also, I have YouTube memberships if you're interested. We have an awesome little community over on Discord where we chat all day long. So if you are interested in that, the link is down in the description below, or you can click the join button if you see it. One last thing before we do get into today's video though, I want to say a huge thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. I will get into that a little bit later. Let's do it. So obviously I am in my kitchen right now, and I do have quite a few plants in here, and I'm sure quite a few of them do need some water, so we may as well start off in here. I just got this fern the other day. I don't think that it needs water quite yet. It's probably going to be just fine over the weekend, so I'm gonna leave this guy alone. But it definitely looks like my favorite little philodendron here needs some water. It's looking a little bit sad, and we're also seeing a few yellow leaves here, so that means it's time to water. I'm gonna put my hair back so that it doesn't keep bumping into my mic and bothering you guys. But I am going to be using this watering can today. I think this is, how many liters? Oh, I don't know. I think this is maybe like 1.5 liters, maybe 1 liter, but I know exactly how much fertilizer I'm going to put in it. I like to use Marfil. I'm not sponsored by them. I do love their product though. Marfil, if you're watching, sponsor me. And I also love Earth Medicine. They did send me this, but also again, it's not sponsored. This is definitely one of my favorite fertilizers. This guy is a microbial fertilizer. Oh my gosh. So this one here, you just sprinkle on top of your soil and it's like a slow release. You do have to reapply your fertilizer every month or so, I believe. Yeah, once a month. So it's not like a 6-month slow release fertilizer, but it's still really good. And I've seen some really good results with both of these guys. So depending on what type of plant you're watering, what it's in, I like to switch it up, because obviously I'm not going to put this guy in sphagnum moss, or I mean, you probably could, but I prefer a liquid fertilizer for sphagnum. So since this philodendron does not have any fertilizer in it, I'm gonna fill this up and I'm going to be using the Marfil. All right, so this guy is all filled up, and I'm just going to put about half a capful of this Marfil into this jug. And that should be good for this can. I'm just gonna water this guy on the counter. It does have a little tray at the bottom there to catch the water, but I don't wanna water it directly on the wood here. So let's go ahead. So I just watered this guy a little bit, and I will come back in a little and check on this guy. I also noticed that my Anthurium magnificum was definitely in need of some water. You can see the leaves are just really nice and droopy, so that is definitely its time. You can also tell because the sphagnum moss is nice and crunchy. This plant is currently working on this inflorescence, and it's also working on killing this leaf off, I think. It's definitely losing some of that color, so I bet you that's due to this inflorescence, but I do want to pollinate this, otherwise I would have cut it off. So We're just leaving that one for now. I thought I had a tray in here, which I don't. Okay, so this guy's gonna have to come into the kitchen. So again, I'm gonna be using Marfil on this one because it is in sphagnum and I prefer to use liquid fertilizers with plants in sphagnum moss. So I just like to soak it thoroughly and then squeeze the pot. I'm gonna leave this here for a little bit just so that it's not dripping all over the floor. But if you guys know my channel, you know that I do like to grow some of my plants in sphagnum moss. And when you do grow your plants in sphagnum moss, it's really, really important that you're fertilizing all the time. Very diluted though, just because the sphagnum moss does not have any nutrients in it. So you have to add those nutrients in yourself. So yeah, we're gonna leave that guy and come back. I also know for a fact that this Philodendron Brazil is pretty thirsty. So we're gonna give it a little drink here. And I say little, I don't want this to spill over onto the cabinet here. So I'm just going to give it a little bit at a time so that I know it's not overflowing and it can absorb it well. I recently watered my pothos. It's actually looking really good. I feel like I've figured out watering for this guy. So that does not need any water. When you guys are looking to see if your plant needs water, there are a few telltale signs. Of course, I've always vouched for moisture meters. They definitely help you correctly identify the moisture level in the soil. But if you don't have one and you have a plant like this, if these leaves are curling like this, that is time to water. Unless you have watered recently, sometimes that can mean root rot, but in this case, I know that it needs water. So I'm definitely gonna give this guy a drink. All right. Recently, I have been watering my string of hearts a lot more than usual. I heard from someone that they do really well and stay more plump if you water them more often. The leaves are definitely feeling more plump right now, and the soil is still damp, so I'm not gonna water it today. But if you have been neglecting your string of hearts and they're a little bit thin, try watering them a little bit more often. Slowly get into that. Don't just start watering it every day and wonder why your plant rots away. But you can kind of train it to enjoy some more water, and yeah, they get really nice and plump and they grow really, really fast. So this guy's doing well. I really do want to untangle all of this, but it's like 4 feet long and that's going to be a nightmare. So I'm gonna wait until the last possible moment. I just wanted to pop in quickly and say a huge thank you to today's, I can't speak right now. I just wanted to pop in here quickly and say thank you to today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning platform. It is the best online learning platform in my opinion, and I've been using it for a few months now, and I've been enjoying it so much. This platform is amazing for anyone looking to expand their knowledge and learn something creative. It's a great way to learn new skills or just brush up on old skills that you may have left behind. Right now, I am watching a course all about editing on Final Cut Pro, which is the software that I use to edit all of my videos for you guys. The class is by Ali Abdal. He does an amazing job teaching step by step, then going into more detail about some really cool ways to edit. So if you want to start some YouTube videos, it's a great program for you. There are also a ton of programs about plants. So if you're not really interested and you just want to learn more about plants, you can also do that. So today I want to offer you guys, to my first 1,000 subscribers who click the link, you are going to get a free trial of Skillshare, no strings attached. And from there on, it's only about $10 a month. So if you really do want to learn a little bit more about certain skills or maybe just some more about plants, definitely click the link down in the description below. But yeah, I want to say again, huge thank you to Skillshare. Let's get straight back on into the video though. It does look like this orchid probably needs some water. It is in a cache pot, so that's perfect. Unfortunately, it does look like this flower is kind of on its way out, but it's been around for a little bit now, so I mean, I can't complain. It really let me enjoy it for quite a while. My other Paphiopedulum orchid also does need some water. The leaves are really nice and thin, so I know that it's time. We're also going to use the Marfil on this one. And then I think my variegated Phalaenopsis could also use some water, so I'm going to steal this tray from another plant and just do my thing here. This orchid has probably grown the most leaves for me compared to any other orchid that I have. I don't know why that is, but it seems to like its life. And then Mr. Dracaena over here looks like it could use some water. Ever since I put it in this terracotta pot, it definitely needs water more often, just because the terracotta soaks up the water. But yeah, that should be good. It does have a tray in there, I believe, and if not, this is lined with some plastic. This is somewhat unrelated, but not really, because I did use some of the earth medicine fertilizer on my veitchii here, but it was kind of slow in the growth department, and we're finally getting a brand new leaf. I was warned by the previous owner of this plant that you really don't want to touch these guys when they're coming out, more so than any other Anthurium, so I'm not going to touch that growth. I'm going to let it be, and hopefully we get a really nice big leaf like these guys again. I think my Melanochrysum could probably use some water, and I don't want to let this sphagnum moss dry out completely while I'm away, so I am going to give it some water. And we'll take this one over to the kitchen as well. It doesn't have a cache pot. All right, I think this bad boy is done draining, so we'll bring it back to its home. I really like Anthuriums in these baskets like this, just draping over, especially when they're big. It just makes them look more casual, especially since they're such like gorgeous, striking plants. It kind of suits it. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Okay, so I made a mess here. It's a little bit watery. I'm just gonna quickly clean that up before it spills on any of the electronics down here, but yeah, this is gonna be tricky to not get any water down there. I'm just kind of soaking it up and then squeezing it back into the plant. These shelves, though, surprisingly, are really waterproof. And for anyone who's wondering, unfortunately, they are discontinued, these shelves here, so I'm sorry. All right, crisis averted. All right, so I think the last thing that I want to show you guys is my prop box. I made a new prop box. So I want to show you what I've cut up and what I've put inside. I definitely went a little scissor crazy, and that's new for me, so yay me. Okie dokie. All right, guys, so this here is my prop box. I love the look of prop boxes, and there's so many beautiful different colors in here. I'm loving this. So I'm gonna start off and just do a little prop box tour. In the top corner here, we have a little Hoya carrii, just the regular Hoya carrii cutting. And I also have some Hoya Chelsea. These guys are really, really fun. I love the little dimples they have there. I'll zoom you in. I really love this plant. I have obviously a mother plant, but I want to cut it up for some trades this summer. And then we have my Hoya Viola as well. I do have the bottom of this plant, but I wanted to cut it up because it wasn't really doing anything anyways. So I thought it'd be better off in my prop box, just getting some humidity. I also put some little Hoya Memoria cuttings in here. There's just some like single node propagations. So hopefully I can make a little plant out of that. And then I have some Hoya Mathilde as well. They are not like the most beautiful Mathilde pieces, but when they have new growth, they'll grow out just fine. And then I've got lots of Dischidia Million Hearts just propagating there. I like to lay these ones across moss so that they can root in lots of different places. And if I want to cut them up even more afterwards, that's a possibility. And then I also have my Hoya, what is this, McGilvery or something like that. I have got two leaf cuttings in here. And then I think that's it for the Hoyas and like Dischidia. And then in terms of aeroids, I have my Philodendron Ploumanii stump here, just kind of buried in there. And then I've got this Monstera dubia cutting, kind of just trailing all the way through this prop box. And then a nice one leaf Peru cutting. And I've also got a top cutting of a Varicosum in here. This will be a good one for a trade this summer. I also did decide to put some Syngonium 3 Kings. This is like pretty much reverted, but there is some variegation there, so who knows, maybe this will just throw out some awesome variegation. I think they are pretty like stable in a way, and then they'll just like go green and then they'll bring it back. I don't know. But yeah, and then the last plant is just this Albo Epipremnum pinnatum. And yeah, also a top cutting. But I'm really excited for all this stuff to root. I did kind of cut up whatever I felt I could. I'm still attached to a lot of my plants, and a lot of them I just cut up, so I don't really want to cut up again. But yeah, that's my prop box. I just like to keep the lid on. I don't seal it completely because I don't want to like suffocate the plants, but it definitely still does get humid in here. All right guys, well that is going to be all for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed just following me around, watering some plants, and me giving you a little prop box tour. I definitely enjoyed chatting with you guys, but yeah, that's going to be all for this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. But that's going to be all. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys